This religion is actually very common to the Benin people, Togo, and some parts of Ghana. Actually, the voodoo actually teaches us about spiritual things, like they speak, they talk, they breathe through non-living things and also living things, the likes of trees, water, and what have you. Hello, my Black family. Welcome to our YouTube channel again. I know you missed us and we missed you also. So we're diving into something very interesting and very incredible. And I'm very sure a lot of you have questions when it comes to the segment that we are getting into on our YouTube channel. So this is welcome to Religious Belief segments. And before I introduce this man seatedly, my name is Ancestral. You people are supposed to be very familiar with my face by now, and my co-host is
I'm not a guest to everybody here. My name is Samuel, and I'm so happy to be back and having to do this. Let's fly, let's roll. I'm ready.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about this particular religion, and there has been a lot of misconceptions when it comes to this religion. People actually feel like it's fiction, it's black magic, and all of that. And the religion that we're talking about today is the voodoo religion. So what do you have to say about that?
All right, so I feel like the voodoo religion is kind of more like the traditions among the African community, talking about West Africa. But then Hollywood painted the whole story to be a whole different thing. It's now looking like a black magic kind of, like a baby doll with pins on it that becomes very, very much harmful. But then there are brighter sides, to some of these things.
Yes, and actually it was the people that actually came in, the colonial masters, I mean before slavery and all those things, was when they came in that they saw these stuffs and they painted it as black magic, as dolls and things that actually don't make sense.
See, they feel like because we are black, nothing white can actually come out of us.
Chai.
But then that's the wrong notion.
Yeah. So now we're going to be going into what the voodoo religion actually is, because I know many people don't really know what this is. So yeah.
All right, so I feel like the voodoo religion is one of the oldest religion or tradition in the world. It's actually spelled Vodun, but then it's actually a different thing. People all around the world, when they start knowing what voodoo is, start giving it different names. Like in the Americans, it's spelled voodoo. That's the V-O-O-D. And in some other countries like that, but then there are a brighter side to what this voodoo is.
Yeah, and this religion is actually very common to the Benin people, Togo, and some parts of Ghana before slavery and colonization and what have you came in.
Yeah, and I feel like one thing about it that made it look so awkward, to people is the fact that Africans believe that there are spirits, in every form of nature. Talking about in water, in trees, in the air, and all of this. For instance, now, in the Yoruba culture in Nigeria, they feel like the god of water is a Moja.
Yes.
So they feel like the god of iron is
Shango.
All of those things. They feel like they are spirits in some of this, some of this nature. And wanting to create a balance is such that they learn about some of these things. They give it a name. It becomes spiritual, and they harness the power that that comes thereof. To just balance nature, balance health, balance goodwill, and a whole lot of things. But then most people actually use it for bad things because to every good thing there are also bad aspects.
Yes, because there are always bad people everywhere. So if you try nonsense, they will show you that there are spirits here in Africa. Yeah, so actually the voodoo actually teaches us about spiritual things, like they speak, they talk, they breathe through non-living things and also living things, the likes of trees, water, and what have you. This is their spirit, no be shere. So we're going to be talking about the misconceptions people actually have about the voodoo religion. In some places, they actually call it Orisha, like the West African parts I'll find ourselves, especially the Yoruba people. We see these things as Orisha, and some people call it different names depending on the tribe and wherever you are. But these spirits, this religion actually has spirits that have actually helped in time past, helped our forefathers during slavery and many other things like that. It is not a doll. Please, next time somebody is telling you that all these stuffs like they're just black magic, Hollywood drama that you just see disappear, and all things like that, is not it. They're actually real spirits. I mean,
So I think you should do a little bit of a deep down to to how this misconception came to be. When we actually have those eras, the pre-colonial eras where
Yeah.
where the colonial masters came to to pick Africans as slavery and all of those things. So the thing is that these African people, that's the people of the Dahomey tribe, talking about the Benin, Togo, and some part of
Yes.
Nigeria, they actually took some of this voodoo along with them secretly. They didn't know. So they took it along with them, and for just protection to because they find so much knowledge in voodoo to be able to protect them, to be able to
Yes.
to become fertile, to become even to best them in their health.
Yes, to
Understand
help
that
their
kind of thing?
health and
To fortify themselves. So these Americans that feel they are slave traders, I feel like it's looking like a threat. Because
Yes.
obviously you are going to be chanting some certain language.
And funny enough, I'm very sure they didn't know how to make use of those things in those times.
Exactly, but the thing is, if these guys were able to, if they see the bigger picture of all of these things, they will find out that there's actually nothing harmful about some of these
Yes.
practices. So they feel like it's a bad thing. So that was how the idea of voodoo being dark magic, came to be.
I don't know where I actually feel like probably, they took these people as slaves and everything like that. So probably there are some times that they passed their boundaries or these people were frustrated and then they're like, you don't know we're Africans. We will show you the stuff.
And Africans are very, very tough.
Yes.
Very, very tough.
So probably they just use some of these spirits on those slave masters and then they just felt like, these people are very wicked, this is black magic.
And they must have seen the result of some of these things. Like we said initially, that these are they believe that their spirit is some of this nature. This is nature taking place, in winds, in air, in water, and all of those. They must have performed some certain things, and maybe there was hurricane or breeze start to blow, and everybody gets scared, and they feel like, oh, this is dark magic, and boom, Hollywood started painting that picture for us.
And I actually also have a perspective to this thing. I'm like, okay, because they actually see, I feel like the whites or the Americans rather, they have this perspective of if they see that this thing is working, they have a way of bad mouthing it so that they will not know that there is actually a result that this thing is bringing out. So that when they took these guys as slaves, obviously they had children and stuff like that. So probably they did it in a way to make sure that the offsprings that they have will not get to know the knowledge of what their forefathers had, because they already saw the potency of it. So they just try to brainwash them to see that this thing is not real. It's a doll. It's black magic. It's
because one thing about the colonial master is that they want to be above everything, trying to be so they had to use the tool of intimidation to intimidate the younger generation such that they don't know the rich knowledge of some of these things, and try to shield them away from it, so everybody now gets scared of what voodoo is. But then it is what it is. But you can't take Africa from an Africa.
Definitely, research will always dig out some things that we never knew about, and we will definitely know about it. I know most of you are already asking okay, so do people still practice this religion? Do people still do all these things the way we said? Yes, it is actually still practiced today, especially in Benin. It is celebrated mostly on 10th of January. They do a lot of dancing, singing, parades, and it is just to show for that this is not oral, and it is more or less like them honoring the past, honoring everything that has happened, and then still upholding their belief system very strong, so that it's not like the things that everyone has said just wash away their religion and that's just the end of it.
And funny enough, a whole lot of elites actually still practice some of these things. It's more like a natural tradition for them. And not just in Africa alone. There are still people in diaspora, that even people that are non-Africans go to places like Brazil, go to places like Cuba, go to places like Trinidad and Tobago.
Togo also.
You still see them celebrating some of these things, because obviously these things, as if you see that, one of the oldest and the oldest kind of knowledge. And I feel like one of these things about culture, tradition, and all of these things is basically the root word is knowledge.
Yes.
The root is knowledge. Even what we have presently today in medicine, the technology, all
everything
these things
still
are
boils
knowledge.
down back to
it still boils down to knowledge. So even technology can be taken in as a tradition, and it becomes a religion.
And funny enough, technology, there are some backstory about it that it came from the
A whole lot of backstory. For instance, now AI is taking charge and all of those things. It will get to a time that people can tend to start worshiping AI.
They're not worshiping AI. All these people that just say AI is their best friend. Any something like this, AI, what happened? This.
And before you know it, everyone, it becomes a tradition and becomes culture, and that's how they see it there. So I feel like that's what is what happens with voodoo. And voodoo, like it came, the knowledge came, and it refuses to die.
Yeah.
And now we still celebrate voodoo. So that was not in the conversation if we want to practice voodoo.
You want to practice voodoo?
Nah.
Your pastor will see this.
Don't be biased religious.
I won't be biased.
Don't be biased religious. I'm just saying. I only have little knowledge of voodoo. I wouldn't like to to go into carry too much power. The thing is, once you have more knowledge of powers like this, you can tend to mismanage it. That's what basically happens with some of these things.
My own is that I'm anticipating next year January then, so that I'll be able to go for the festival and see everything like.
They will practice voodoo on you.
No, they don't practice voodoo on me. Like I'll just go there, like just
that's part of the festival.
Exciting. We shall see what's happening there.
Alright, guys.
Alright, so that's it for today's segment on religious beliefs. Do well to like, share, subscribe. It's necessary. Subscribe so that each time we drop another episode, you get notified and you watch. And until next time, I think this is a safe place to say goodbye. Yeah, bye.